So today's lesson is about the recess revolts, right? So before we get started, I want you please to tell me what can you see in the picture?
I see some kids on the field,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are raising their hands. And in front of them is a woman. I think it's their teacher,
Okay,
like.
so okay. What do we say to the teacher who is teaching sport? What's the right name for
Coach,
that? We can say
maybe
coach.
coach.
Okay, coach or instructor. Remember, so we can say coach or instructor. A coach is someone who teaches sports, like football, for example. And the kids are in the field and maybe they are preparing to play a football match together, right? Okay, as you can see, there are too many different, cultures and too many different ethnicities, black people, whites, and also people from Asiatic countries, right? So let's talk about this short story. Okay, as you can see, for example, this woman looks looks like an Asiatic person. She looks a Chinese, maybe. She looks from an Asiatic country. Okay. Now, what
Okay.
can you see? Can you tell me more details about the picture?
Uh, that girl is sending a paper to other kids.
Okay. So, what is the right word to say sending? We don't say sending. We say deliver out, right? So remember, to deliver out is mean to deliver out papers to, the students, for example. I think she's a teacher, or she's a classmate. I'm not sure about that. So we are going to understand what will happen in the story. Okay. So let's go together. Let's go quickly. So this is a focus question. So this question will be answered by the end of the story, of course. So let's read together this one. What effect does the lesson Elias and Ada learn in class have on the outcome of the story? So this question will be answered by the end of the story. Now, let's read the story first, and after that, let's come back together to this question to answer it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Now we have like some words that we need to understand before going deeply into the short story. Okay, can you please read these words?
App, but budget, budget,
Uh-huh.
civil rights,
Mm-hmm.
funding,
Mm-hmm.
petition,
Mm-hmm.
protests,
Protests.
protests,
Mm-hmm.
resisted,
Mm-hmm.
signatures,
Mm-hmm.
sit in.
Sit in. Okay, these are a couple of words. I know that you don't understand all of them, but you will understand them throughout the context of the short story. So let's go deeply. Let's go and read together the short story. Now, let's have a look in this picture. What can you see?
I think the boy and the girl have some arguing, and inside, a man is staring at them. He doesn't look very happy. Uh, he looks a bit unhappy.
Very good. So the little kids have some arguments, and the boy is shouting loudly while the teacher is staring at them and looking at them and say, "Oh, what's happened?" So let's see what's happened. Let me read first. Elias walked into social studies class, complaining to his friend Ada about the new school racist rules. So this is what's happened actually, right? So Elias and Ada are studying together in social study class, right? And Elias is complaining to his friends Ada about the new school races rules. So there is something new in the class that makes him a little bit angry, and he wants to speak his mind without shouting and say why. So let's see, what does he say? It's so damn, right? He said, isn't races supposed to be about free time and having fun? It means that the class or the program or the schedule, the school schedule is full, right? So they will not have time to have fun together. So that's why Elias looks a little bit nervous and look a little bit angry about that, about the new regulations and new rules of the class, right? So can you please read again?
Elias walked into social study class, complaining to his friend Ada about the new school recess rules. It's so dumb, he said. Isn't recess supposed to be about free time and having fun?
Okay, so can you tell me what's happened first?
Elias was complaining the new school recess rules to Ada. He thought it was bad.
Okay, that's good. Yes, okay, that's perfect. So let's see what's happened next. All right, now settle down, Mr. Sterling called from the front of the room. I know it's only the first day, but we already have a lot to do. So the teacher over there, as you see at the corner, trying to count the Elias down. He wants to calm him down and say, easy, take it easy, please, and try to settle down, right? Okay, from the front of it, I know it's only the first day. So it was the first day of the school, and we already have a lot to do. So we have a lot of things to do. Okay, so can you read again, please?
All right now, settle down, Mr. Sterling called from the front of the room. I know it's only the first day, but we already have a lot to do.
Okay, so can you tell me who is Mr. Stalin?
Mr. Sterling is the man in the picture. I think is the teacher.
He's the teacher and the leader of the class, right? Okay, so let's see what's happened next, quickly. Elias sank into his chair. Still upset, he had spent the whole summer looking forward to playing chess again with Ada during recess. When they got to the playground, thought they had found a new set of recess rules in place. Instead of playing on their own, students now had to do activities run by the teachers. Elias and Ada had been sent over to the soccer field right away with no chance to argue. So, can you tell me what's happened in this paragraph?
Mm, uh,
So after Elias sank into his chair, it means he go and settle down in his chair. Still upset. He was really upset about the new regulations and the new, let's say, the new rules of the school. He had spent the whole summer
yeah.
looking forward to playing chess because he doesn't want to have a fully schedule. He wants to play more, right? So he is an adult, maybe, right? So he wants to play more. Okay, and when they got to the playground, so they after that when they finish school they go back to the playground to play. They found a new set of recess rules in place. Again, they found another rules and regulations. You know, school is all about regulations. When we got into an institution or school, we found regulation. We call it internal regulations. These regulations
Mm.
must be respected by the students and by the teachers as well, right? So as an adult, Elias doesn't want this kind of regulations. He wants to be free. He wants to play with his friends. He wants to have a lot of time to have fun with his friends. So that's why he feels really upset and he doesn't accept this kind of regulation inside the classroom and also in the playground. So instead of playing on their own, students now had to do other activities run by the teachers, right? The coaches. Elias and Ada had been sent over to the soccer field right away with no chance to argue. He doesn't have any chance now to argue again. He doesn't have time and he has a full schedule. So he doesn't have any chance to argue. Let me ask you a question, Teddy. How is the schedule program in your school? Do you have time to play with your friends or not?
You mean the one after the time after the class? Is
Uh-huh.
that time?
Uh-huh.
I have 15 minutes to play with my friends.
Hmm. Okay. And how many hours do you usually study in school?
I go to school you know, I go to school early. I go to school on 7:10 a.m. and
Okay.
I leave 5 uh no, I uh, I arrive at school at about 7:20 a.m. and I leave school at 5:20 p.m.
Oh, the whole day,
Uh,
right?
almost,
D-
yes.
Wow, it's too much. It's too much actually. But it's good actually as an adult, maybe as a kid. So it's good for you, right? It's good for you. Anyways,
I
do
also
you
like
like
school.
do you like the regulations and the rules in your school, right?
Yes, I think it's good because I can, you know, we have many activities after school. We can we can play, we can talk. Mm,
Okay. You can have a new friends, you know new friends, right?
yeah.
Okay. So let's can you please read this paragraph and let's discuss together.
Okay. I- It's so unfair, Elias thought. All right, class, said Mr. Sterling. We're starting with the civil rights movement of the 1960s. What do you already know about it? Rosa Parks, someone said.
Yeah. Now they are in class, I think, right? And Elias
Mm.
again complaining against the rules and the regulations of the class. And he said it's so unfair. We don't have time to do, right? Like leisure time to play and to have fun with our friends. All right, class. So Mr. Starkling say we are starting with the civil rights movement, right? Civil rights movement is like a lesson, right? Of the 1916, and Mr. Storing, the teacher asked the students, what do you already know about it? Do you have any idea about the civil rights movements of the 1916, Teddy?
Nope, I hadn't learned history yet.
Oh, okay, good. That's good. Now, let's move quickly. As you can see, the teacher is trying to explain the civil rights movements 1916, okay, and say someone else called out peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. You know what does mean protest, right?
Mm, not so sure.
Okay, protest is means complaining against something that you don't like.
Oh,
Okay, complaining against something that you don't like, right? This is a protest, right, Mr. Starling? The civil rights protesters resisted unfair laws, but they did it in peaceful way. It means to ask for your rights in a peaceful way. When something doesn't suit your mind, right? You start to protest and resist and feel loss, right? But you did it peacefully without any violence. So no need to confront, for example, with the governments. So we did it peacefully. One way they did it called a sit-in. So the class settled in the take notes. Good. Now the teacher is trying to explain what does mean civil rights and peaceful protests, right? He is trying to give more information about what was happening in 1916. Do you understand, Teddy?
Yeah.
Do you feel sleepy, right?
Yeah, a bit.
Okay, nice. Now, I want you please to read this paragraph.
Sit-ins started in restaurants, which were often open only to white customers. Mr. Sterling went on. African Americans would go to white African Americans would go to a white-only restaurant and order food. When they were refused, they simply sit and wait to be served. Sometimes people would yell at them, or throw food, or threaten them, but they just sat quietly.
Good. So, what do you understand about this? This is the reason
Mm,
why the revolution, or what we call the civil, the processors, they want to change life in America. So this is all about racism. So African Americans in America would go to whites only restaurants. So they, when they want, for example, to eat something at the restaurant, they find too many racist people, right? From the white man or the white skin. And they simply sit and wait to be served, right? And no one asks. So the waiter doesn't care about them. And he never asks them, what are you going to eat? Because there is like a hatred between the black and white at that time, not now, in 1960. And sometimes people
yeah.
would yell at them, insult them, say bad things to them, or throw food, right? Throw food,
Mm.
or threaten them, but they just sat quickly. Now I want you please to give me your feedback about this paragraph. What do you understand?
Uh, in that time, many restaurants were often open only to white customers. So when African Americans went to that kind of restaurant to order food, they were refused, but they just simply sit and wait to be served. Mm, Sometimes people would yell at them, throw food, or threaten them, but they just sit there.
Amazing, Teddy. I'm really proud of you. I really like the way you analyze the story, actually. Okay, let's see what's happened, please. Can you read and then we discuss?
Did it work? Asked Elias. It worked very well, Mr. Sterling said. The restaurants couldn't make money with protesters sitting at their counters. Meanwhile, the whole country was watching the protesters' peaceful actions. Slowly, the whole system of separating races in public spaces began to fall apart.
Good. Can you tell me now, Teddy, what is the reasons behind protesting against the government? In
Mm,
the story, of course.
in the restaurants couldn't make money when the
No,
protesters
no,
sit
no,
there
no,
and won.
no, no. The question is, what is the reason behind protesting against the government? The black people start to protest. They want to have their rights as people, as a normal people, as an American citizens, right? And they start, they stand against the government laws and regulations. So now, can you tell me what is? I told you only, already the reason. So what is the reason behind that? Why?
Oh, Because uh, that time the Africa Americans couldn't do many things. They are separated to the white.
Exactly. They were separated to the whites because the white man thought that he is superior than the black man, and the black is inferior. But we are
Mm,
equal. Black and white are equal. We don't have any difference. So that's why the white at that time, of course, used to think that he is superior than the black man. And that's why this is the reason why the black people protest against the government's law and regulations, and they want to change that. You got it?
mm,
Good.
yeah, I get it.
Now, can you read this, please?
They talked about peaceful protest for the rest of the class. Elias followed everything carefully, and when class ended, he turned to Ada.
Okay, they talk about peaceful protest. So the class was all about, what was happening in the 1960s and how the people used to protest against the government's regulations and how the government's feedback was, right? And how the people
Mm,
watch these kind of protests and encourage the black people to protest again against uh, the government law. Anyways, it's I was happy to teach you today, Teddy. It was a nice story actually, and hope to see you again. And have a good time. Good night. Bye bye. Bye
bye.
bye. Bye bye.